No DQ Galaxy. We are live with predictions for WWE Payback 2023 on the WWE Network around the world, Peacock in the United States. I have the No DQ panel, a very unique panel tonight. I was able to convince Mrs. Riff to be on with us tonight because for the very first time, we have Caitlin's brother, my brother-in-law, Mike, on with us to discuss WWE Payback. It is a family affair. First time brother and sister on here to talk about a WWE premium live event or anything wrestling, period. Is that correct, Caitlin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, Mike, welcome. And
thanks for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you on. Just let us know, for anybody not familiar, how long have you been watching wrestling and what do you think about the current WWE product? And how excited are you for Payback on a scale of 1 to 10?
All right, last question first. Scale of 1 to 10, a 10. Simply because my hall pass is involved in this match, and that's Rhea Ripley. So anytime I get to see the best worker in the business wrestle, I'm excited. So the couple other matches I'm looking forward to, but the Rhea match, and we'll get to that in shortly. How long have I been watching wrestling? I remember my first favorite wrestler was Bobo Brazil.
Wow.
So that dates me a little bit. And then I went from Bobo Brazil to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And then huge fan of the Attitude Era with NWO, DX. And then when Rey Mysterio beat Kevin Nash, I kind of tapped out of wrestling for a little bit because I absolutely hated that finish. And then I actually have been out of it for the most part until leading up to last WrestleMania. I really fell into the Bloodline storyline because that's what I've always watched. Yeah, the matches are good. The athleticism of the guys and gals is phenomenal. But I actually watch the wrestling for the storyline, kind of like a Dallas or a All My Children or whatever. And I know it's taking a lot of heat, but current product, I absolutely love the WWE right now. I think what they're doing with the Bloodline, some don't like it. I think Roman Reigns is phenomenal. So anyway, that's a little bit about myself.
Are you disappointed in the lack of Roman Reigns on this pay-per-view?
No, not at all. I think that's what makes Roman so great, just much like Brock. I think when you have a pay-per-view every 6 minutes, it waters down the product. So now with Roman not being there until he's needed to be there, I don't grow tired of Roman. Just like Brock. I've never been a huge Lesnar fan, whether MMA or WWE, but he only shows up when it means something, and therefore there's interest in Brock when Brock's around.
All right, fair enough.
Very good analysis. Very good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Caitlin, we were at SummerSlam. That was a major card, but Payback, not quite as epic of a card. How are you feeling about this one on a scale of 1 to 10?
Not as excited as Mike, but anytime we have an excuse for pizza and just, hanging out is good with me. And there's, like you said, there's a couple good matches a couple matches I'm looking forward to anyway. So, I don't know, it's 7.
Okay, fair enough. And I think I agree with you. Maybe a 7. It definitely feels like the least noteworthy card on paper in quite some time. But the pay-per-views, I cannot remember the last bad WWE Premium Live event. I feel like they almost always deliver. Noah, would you agree with that? How are you feeling about this show?
Hey, hello again, everybody. Good to see y'all, Caitlin, Mike, Aaron, Walter, No DQ Galaxy. I'm feeling good about this show. You know, it's amazing how much this year Stratus has given us as fans of the industry, all the positivity, all the moments, all the incredible storytelling across the entire board as I look at all things wrestling. And you figure about the span of WWE events. Let's figure about this. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, Night of Champions, Money in the Bank. They were all super huge spectacles, some on an international front. For the first time this year, we're finally toning it down. And I can appreciate that because I don't know about y'all, but I think burnout is a very real thing. So this show for me is casual, it's simple, and I think the card is going to suffice to deliver what we expect. I'm definitely going to give it a 7 out of 10, and I am kind of looking forward to it, especially after everything else we've seen recently. Good grief almighty. I'm kind of glad to take a step back, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And it's good to be back with y'all once again.
Pleasure to have you on, Noah. And Mike, Virtue already wants you on the No DQ review. After hearing your opening, he wants you on the panel. We'll have to make it happen.
All right, sounds good.
Nice.
And last but not least, we have Mr. Reliable here with us on the No DQ predictions. Walter, how's it going? How are you feeling about this one?
I'm doing well. Hello, everyone. To be honest, before Raw, I was about a 6, but I'm at a 7 now. Nakamura really bumped me up. Like the way they're doing what he is and how he changed and his promos. And I've been calling it for years. You guys know I've been saying the foreman people need to forget English, just speak your language and make it work. And he's doing it. And I think they're doing a great job with Nakamura. So he's actually intriguing me. I mean, do I believe he's going to win? You have to tune in to find out.
Let's get into it, guys. We have only 6 matches. This might go pretty quickly. Let's get into it. By the way, there is a non-wrestling segment. Cody Rhodes is going to be on the Grayson Waller effect.
What?
At Payback. Probably some kind of filler, just something in between 2 of the big matches. Whatever, it is what it is. We really don't need to talk about it. Who knows? It might even turn into a match before it's all said and done, in which case I think we would all pretty much agree that Cody would win that match if they were to have a match. We'll see what happens. All right, so we're going to talk about the actual matches that have been confirmed. First up, we are going to start with the Raw Women's Championship, the Women's Heavyweight Championship, whatever they're calling it now. We have Rhea Ripley defending her championship against Raquel. Raquel is maybe the closest thing to an equal in the ring as Rhea Ripley. Definitely size-wise, Raquel measures up to her. Should be a solid match.
Not to interrupt you, Aaron, but size-wise, in my opinion, is the only way she stacks up right now. I don't think she's nearly as good in the ring as they're pushing her to be, but I think it's her size that they're pushing her. So I think that size is the only way. And that back pose has got to go. Her back isn't even that impressive. Rhea's back is actually more impressive than Rodriguez's.
Wow. Well, there we go. Mike's already dropping bombs here. We're less than 10
I like
minutes
this guy.
So I think it's safe to say you think Rhea Ripley is retaining.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying she won't drop the strap at some point because obviously that's inevitable. I mean, unless you're Roman Reigns, but the payback card is not where she's going to drop it. And like everybody talks, Charlotte Flair is the best worker in the business, and she is good. But if you watch the triple threat match of SummerSlam, there were some minor botches, and it was a good match. I had no problem with it, but it was a little sloppy at times. Whereas the WrestleMania match between Rhea and Charlotte Flair, I have as arguably one of the best matches, male or female, that I've ever seen.
Accurate.
So, I think Rhea wins. I think she'll sell for Rodriguez like she always does, but she will retain and move on. And I don't know if they're going to go WrestleMania with either the man or Charlotte again, or maybe Bianca or something, but there's no way she loses the belt at Payback.
I agree with you. I think Rhea's winning. And Caitlin, any thoughts on this match? Are you a big fan of Raquel or just kind of whatever?
I don't know if I'd say whatever, but I'm not like a super fan or anything of hers, but I will also go with Rhea Ripley to retain. Nothing to add on. Pretty much has been said. So,
You agree with the back comment?
well,
Putting you on the spot here.
well, first of all, he was talking about their actual back, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
with her
the
back
way that-
pulls when she turns and goes like that. It's
Right.
not even that. A back pulls, you're supposed
Yeah.
to have a V. And hers,
The way
there's no
that these
V
two
there.
laughed, I thought they were thinking he was talking about a different back there.
Oh,
for a
no.
minute.
Come on.
Oh, no.
This is
We got
family
what he
friendly.
We got what he meant. It's just the
You laughed so hard, I was like, "Oh, geez."
because he was 5 minutes in the video dropping bombs. I'm like, I like this guy.
Well, anyway, yeah. So nothing to add for that match. I'm filling in here for some last-minute dropout, so I'm calling you out. But anyway,
Whoa.
carry on.
You know who you are.
Let's just say Walter Cruz is Mr. Reliable, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Noah Foster, we'll go over to you. Your thoughts, if
So,
any.
as
Jack.
somebody that likes to educate and also look at both sides, to give everybody a fair bit of game, let me talk a little bit about, of course, Raquel Rodriguez, the former Raquel Gonzalez, who literally beat Rhea Ripley in a last woman standing match a while back at NXT. What I can really appreciate about this, she's no longer freaking cheesy smiling.
Yeah.
But that being said, looking at both women from an athleticism standpoint, they're both capable. But Rhea Ripley is leaps and bounds above Raquel since being part of Monday Night Raw. And right now, since winning that title from Charlotte Flair, it's her first real big test since having the strap. She's not losing this. Gotta go with Rhea for the retainment. But it's nice to see Raquel actually get some sort of competition and shows what she's capable of. Rhea Ripley's going to make her look strong. How strong is Raquel? We're going to find out. But she's not strong enough to beat Mommy in their first outing on the main roster. Rhea Ripley retains.
All right. Sean Garner sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Sean. He says, who does Rhea drop the title to? I mean, that's a great question. They really don't have a lot of options.
Not this
on
moment.
Raw.
They really
There's-
don't. I mean, you got Becky Lynch, like you said. There's still that misinterpreted history back in 2019 NXT. They never followed up from that. There was never really a clear decision. I could see them pushing Becky into that spot again. Maybe if she's less sour. But at this point, I really don't have anybody right now on the roster.
It's
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead, man.
It'll never happen, but I'd like to see it happen. And this is a ways out. I think they've got to start pushing Zoe Starks instead of just being the flunky. I think she's got her mic skills need a little bit of work, but that's why they've got her with Trish. And I think she's got the athleticism. She's got the physique, but I don't know for her size. I don't know if they'll ever put her in, the championship category, but I would like to see them push Zoe a little more.
Fair enough. I mean, I thought she did a good job on Raw in that match with Trish.
I always thought the plan was for that Zoe eventually is going to turn on Trish so that Trish can go babyface before she's off TV and we can all love her and she be the Hall of Fame person she is. So I really think that that's the end game. We just got to wait to see how they do it.
Well, Walter, your thoughts on this match, and presuming Rhea Ripley does win, which I think we all are going in that direction, who could potentially beat her? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think definitely Rhea's winning this match. I'm not sure. I think they have to build someone. I think it's going to be someone we don't see right now. Either somebody's going to get called up from NXT or somebody's going to randomly go on this win streak and get billed. Right now, what I don't like about the build of this match is that Raquel is coming off an injury, and you use an injury storyline. That really doesn't set her up as a worthy challenger if it's just revenge for an injury. If you built her up, she beat the hell out of everybody, and she became a number one contender, and you made her look strong and undefeated for the last few months, then we can go, hey, maybe she's got a chance. But the fact that she's just coming off this weird injury, you already know that's going to be part of the story. They're going to use the excuse that Rhea won because she attacked her knee and her knee wasn't 100%, and that's going to lead to a rematch, and it's going to go on and on. So I already see where this is going. But, yeah. Definitely Rhea's winning. They're going to milk this for a while.
The first of a
yeah,
trilogy.
they're going to milk this for a while because there's really no worthy challengers right now, and it's sad to say.
We do have some comments in the chat. Tessa Blanchard was brought up. Tiffany Stratton was mentioned. Roxanne Perez, maybe if she gets called up. So, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, in the immediate future, it doesn't look like there's a lot of options. And Liv Morgan is injured. Sean Garner pointed out that Liv Morgan was the last one to pin Rhea Ripley. And I could see Liv versus Rhea once Liv returns from her injury. But who knows when that's going to be? Might not be anytime soon. So there you go. That's the women's title match. And we'll move on now to let's see if anybody could do the imitation as well as The Miz did. We got The Miz going up against everybody's favorite, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Everybody does that impression of L.A. Knight, but I have to say The Miz did an awesome job on Raw. I absolutely loved that impression, and that got me more hyped up for this match. Now, with that being said, unless they do some kind of swerve to trick everybody, I think this is an easy win for LA Knight. The Miz, even though he was a former WWE champion, he's basically a punching bag. Caitlin, would you agree on that? And how much are you into LA Knight at this point? Were you cheering him at SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think that he's great. But what I wanted to add was that both myself and Aaron Roca both actually thought it was LA Knight walking out because we weren't looking too close, on our phone. And all of a sudden we're like looking at the screen like, what's going on? So yeah, it was a really good impression that he did. And he always does good skits like that and, making fun of various people. I'm also going with LA Knight. I think that there could be shenanigans in this match, perhaps. You never quite know with The Miz, but I'm still going with LA Knight.
Funny you mentioned that, Caitlin, because I had somebody message me and say that they thought it was LA Knight until they heard boos, like they were watching from a distance.
That's what Erin said, too. She was like, I'm like, why are they booing?
Right. And then, this person noticed, oh, wait a minute, that's actually The Miz, not LA Knight. And then when he starts talking, he sounds just like him. Like he really nailed it. Mr. Reliable, any thoughts on this match?
The Miz wins with the Blue Thunder bomb. No, kidding.
You had me there for a second.
No, LA Knight, of course, this is just a showcase for him, but I'm an advocate for Miz. You guys know, if you follow me on social media, I always talk about the Miz. Miz needs to be respected.
Agreed.
He's been in the game for a long time, and he is the stepping stone. If you notice, every person that they are going to push or that they think are ready, they put him against the Miz. It's like Miz is the tester for them. He's the gatekeeper right now. So this is whether it's the sink or swim for LA Knight, and LA Knight's going to do it. I think he wins. But it's not going to be as dominant as everyone thinks. Miz is going to get his few shots in there. There might be a little bit of cheating, but LA Knight will prevail in the end.
Noah, do you think there's any chance that we see some cheating and the Miz actually pulls off the upset victory?
Underhand shenanigans, yes. Miz pulling off the victory. No, absolutely not. Definitely going with LA Knight. Yeah. And to Walter's point, yeah, you're right. Miz has kind of become the Dolph Ziggler of WWE. He's the guy
was just going to say that
to get to bigger things. You ask Cody Rhodes, he was literally one of the first. Miz TV literally sets up those little teases. Miz tests you both on the mic and in the ring. So I gotta respect that gumption. Plus, Ohio represent. That being said, there's a reason why Rotten Tomatoes hasn't rated his movies. They're more rotten than the lowest scale. So you definitely got LA Knight, the megastar, the A-lister, beating the B-list celebrity. LA Knight for the win.
Thank you for that, Noah. Mike, we'll wrap it up with you. And I wonder if Caitlin's dad is watching us live.
He is.
Oh, good. Hi,
Sissy
Bill.
Too. Hi, Sissy.
Hello.
I think that would be this will be one of the worst swerves ever if LA Knight doesn't beat the Miz. And like Noah said, Miz is Dolph Ziggler with mic skills, but Dolph would go in the ring and get beat by everybody because he can work with anybody. Miz is the same way, but Miz has way better mic skills, and there's just no way since they've got LA Knight where he's at, he's not going to lose to the Miz. Although I will say, hats off to WWE for holding LA Knight back a little bit, because I don't know if anybody noticed, and anybody can make mistakes. This is live, and I'm not saying anybody's perfect, but if you remember the go-home match between Sheamus, where he went for his move and to go to the middle rope, and then and he missed it, and then he came back the next night on SummerSlam and did it, and then the promo against The Miz in the ring, and he kind of stumbled over his words. So I think I don't think he was quite ready. And everybody was, why is he losing? Why is he losing? Why is he losing? Why is he losing? I don't know if he was 100% ready, and now he's getting ready. So now they're going to push him. And I don't think he'll ever be world champion, but I'm looking at more of one of those many other belts that are available.
Right. There's plenty of them. That's for sure.
United States or Intercontinental.
Exactly.
Primary.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, we'll move on to the next match of the evening, which is for the United States Championship, one of those other championships that LA Knight could win at some point. We got Rey Mysterio defending against Austin Theory. Now, the question is, what's happening with Santos Escobar? There seems to be a tease of maybe a split between Santos and Rey at some point. Rey came in after Santos was hurt and won the title, and now Rey has all the glory while Santos is basically in the background. And I think that there is going to be some sort of development with this storyline, and it's just a matter of time before there's a falling out. But will it happen at this show? Is it too soon? Rey just won the title. So Noah, I'm going to throw it right over to you on this one. Do you see the champ retaining, or does Theory get his title back?
It's a weird situation because it's not the first time they've hot potato or hot shot the United States Championship. They did the exact same freaking thing with Seth Rollins and Austin Theory. They just used the triple threat. I've been waiting for the longest time for Santos Escobar to have a heel type of rivalry with Rey Mysterio because that just sounds freaking awesome. But that being said, the United States Championship has been irrelevant for the longest period of time. That's why Gunther is the most prestigious champion in WWE, not named Roman Reigns. For me, I think Mysterio needs this. I want to see them build maybe towards a program with him and Santos, and maybe it could be something like mutual respect, but I want to surpass you. I want to be the next king of Lucha Libre. So just out of circumstance and the fact that I find A-Town down boring, I'm going with Rey Mysterio for the win.
Oh, wow. Walter, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm going for Rey Mysterio as well. But I think originally, if you look at it, the LWO was a heel faction in WCW. So I think eventually that's what's going to happen. Paul Escobar is going to turn on Rey, and there'll be a heel group, and they'll be back to the losers. You know how LWO really stands for Loser World Order. And they're going to be there, and then Rey can go on with his Hall of Fame career into something else and be the babyface that he always is. So I think it will lead to a couple matches between them, and then Rey will go on to another status. But for now, he's going to retain this U.S. title. I think eventually he does drop it to Escobar.
I hope, personally. And let's keep in mind, everybody, as always, Carson did the Dan's predictions, subject to change as I track them. We have Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar in a tag team match this Friday against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
There you go. Mike, any thoughts on this one?
Yes. Unlike you guys are more business oriented when it comes to this stuff, I'm strictly a fan. I don't know. I do not understand the hatred other than the fact he's a heel. I get that hatred. I think Austin Theory is phenomenal. He's got the look. Mike's skills still need a little work, but you know, as I just butchered my last sentence, that can be said for a lot of people.
Right.
But the physique, he's young enough. And I'm going to go with him to take the title back because I don't understand why they gave him the strap to take it away that quickly. If they didn't think he was ready, why did he even win it in the first place? But that, like I say, that's a fan's perspective. I mean, I don't look at merchandise sales or you know contract situations or this, that, or the other thing.
Me neither.
So as a fan, I think, and again, I don't like Rey Mysterio. I put him against anybody, and I'm probably against him because he's a great athlete and everything. But it always just pissed me off when everybody just lays on the rope for the 619 when everybody knows it's coming. So I just do not like Rey Mysterio. So A-Town down to take the belt.
Walter?
I don't think it's so much that people, it's not the hate. I think the theory thing is that he has the Vince McMahon stank on him because he was his boy for those 2 years and it just rubbed everybody the wrong way. And then especially after what happened with Vince, I think he just has to get that stank off of him and he'll be okay. But I think that was his issue, that why people love to hate him. It's that Vincent Kennedy McMahon endorsement.
There was a comment there from Matthew there. They have a Austin Theory with Grayson Waller. The only thing is that Grayson Waller, I don't think his work is terrible.
Oh,
I think Grayson Waller's work is terrible. I love his mic skills and his like little gimmick and his, thorn in the side, that I can deal with. I think his work is terrible.
Wow. So
that's just me though.
I mean,
man, Mike with some hot takes.
Sounds like you would prefer if Austin Theory had Grayson's mic skills and Grayson had Theory's in-ring abilities.
Yes. There you go.
That would be the total package and not Lex Luger.
So maybe they should be a tag team. Maybe they could complete each other.
There we go. Perfect.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, I feel these guys should be a tag team, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Caitlin, you're much like Mike in the sense that you're more of a casual viewer, so you're not paying attention to the business numbers and all that. What are your thoughts on Austin Theory and Rey as champion? Where do you see this going, and where would you like to see it go?
Casual fans for life.
Woo! I think I'm gonna go with what the other two gentlemen were talking about and stick with Rey Mysterio. But I have a thing I tend to do where if I'm not entirely sure on a match, I tend to go with the person retaining. Not that I really care that much anymore about our leaderboard of predictions and stuff, but I did win it a couple times, I think, right, Noah?
Yes, you did.
Twice? Okay.
Along with your hubby.
Right. So I care a little bit, and so I tend not to take risks in my predictions for that reason. And because this match, I haven't been paying super close attention to the people involved in it. Although I like Austin Theory's music. I can say that. But because of all that, I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio.
As am I. I think Rey will retain, and they're slowly building up for Theory to maybe team up with Grayson Waller, and then Rey will do something with Santos Escobar. Now, of course, there is a possibility Santos could come out there and cost Rey, but I think they're going to let it play out a little bit longer and not rush it, because I could see it being at WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. I could see that being the long-term direction with those guys.
Very love with a battle of former brothers in LWO. Yeah,
could be Rey's retirement match. Maybe Rey puts over Santos and gives him the mask or something.
So mark that down. I'm the lone wolf. I'm the lone wolf on this match.
Well, you can start it at the Rumble. That Escobar eliminates Rey, and that's what starts it.
I mean, that's where a lot of storylines are supposed to start off. If we're being perfectly honest here.
Well, Mike, I would not rule out Theory regaining the title. We've seen hot potato title changes before. It definitely happens.
It could happen. Again, I just don't think they would pull the swerve this quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to let it play out a little bit longer. All right, we're going to move on now to another big match on the show. Could end up being the main event. I'm curious to see if they put this one on last or the other match that we'll be talking about here shortly. We got Becky Lynch one-on-one with Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. Now on Raw, we saw Becky pick up a victory over Zoe Stark, as we talked about her earlier. And now Becky finally gets her chance at revenge, a steel cage where nobody can interfere. And we all know that's a load of crap. People interfere in steel cage matches pretty much every single damn time. So Zoe Stark will probably find a way to interfere. She'll slip something through the cage, or she'll climb over the cage, or she'll come from under the cage, or the door will open and she'll slam it on Becky's face. One of those scenarios will probably...
The bolt cutters.
Yeah, the bolt cutters. And every gimmick you can think of, we might see it in this match. I presume this is going to be the end of the storyline with them. This should be the blow off. We'll see what happens. So I've been vocal. I haven't been the biggest fan of this storyline. I feel like it's been a bit lackluster. Caitlin, I know that you did watch wrestling years ago with Trish Stratus, so you're familiar with her. Your thoughts on this match? Has it lived up to your own personal expectations? Big name from the past versus the current name. Was it what you expected it to be?
I'm not sure about what I expected it to be, but I'll say that the plan seemed to be that we were going to see it at SummerSlam, and I was excited about that, and we did not end up seeing it at SummerSlam. So, I mean, not like we're going to be at Payback, but I'm glad they're doing it at a pay-per-view now anyway. And, steel cage match, always a fun time. And I'm probably the most excited for this match because, like you said, I did watch a lot more intensely back in the day, and then again, like 2015 to 18-ish, and then I got a little bit more casual for a while after that, I would say. But anyway, I agree. I think, like, how much more are they going to do with Trish, and how long is she going to stick around to, like, what would they do with her if she wins this match? And also I kind of feel like, even though Becky is always seems to be on the show, like she's kind of not, and she's talking, she's like running her mouth out there, but I feel like not a lot's happening. So maybe when you ask that question about did it live up, maybe not quite.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to be said, I think we need to get Becky kind of back in some type of picture here. I'm going to go with Becky winning.
Well, we did talk about earlier, the question was asked, who is going to beat Rhea Ripley? Could end up being Becky Lynch. Becky could be the top babyface to go after Rhea Ripley's title, maybe at WrestleMania. So Noah, I'll throw it over to you now. What would you like to see happen in this match? Go ahead.
A finale, and you basically pulled out the lexicon of steel cage shenanigans that's going to happen, and more often it happens on the heel's behalf, and that's when the heel loses. If they're not going to do last woman standing because WWE can't be hardcore beyond that, R.I.P. Terry Funk, this has to be freaking it. Thank you, Trish. Yeah, a lot of the storyline has gone a little bit flat, but they tried for what they were given. Again, they were given this. They had no control over it. And why it's been sour, to say the least, I like the fact they are actually giving us a finish, again, like you said, on botch PLE. So why Becky versus Rhea could be a long-term plan, I go back to that backstage 7-1 Shayna Bears and try to remind everybody exactly who she is. Becky right now is in between and kind of has this lackadaisical attitude, but she welcomes competition. I think she wants something different than Trish, and since she already beat her second, time for her to beat the final boss. So I definitely got Becky Lynch for the win. It was a problem in the meantime to do Becky versus Shayna to reset both in some capacity. Whether Becky's heel or face, that's up to the fans' perspective. But Becky wins here for sure.
I do think Becky is going to win as well. Mike, I'll throw it over to you now with your thoughts on the match.
The storyline between the two has been so-so, unless Zoe's been involved. I'm taking Becky of the 6 matches. If this is the main event, I'll be able to tap out a little bit early because this is of the 2 women's matches. I understand why it's in a cage. They don't want outside interference, blah, 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 blah. These 2 women do not belong in a cage. A cage signifies violence and mayhem, and neither one of these women wrestle that style. Nope. I mean, if either match should be in a cage, it should be Rhea and Raquel, but I know there's nothing built for that. So I don't know. I don't like these 2 in a cage. Becky to end this feud. I don't think Trish goes away. I don't know what is next for the Hall of Famer. I'm not going to thank her, though, because I never did like her. So,
whoa.
But the man for the win.
All right. And Walter, we'll go over to you now. We've been joking around about Lita. Whatever happened to Lita? Like maybe Zoe Stark tries to interfere and then Lita finally shows up, and you could drag one more match out of this. You could do a tag match, Trish and Zoe versus Becky and Lita, maybe at Saudi Arabia or something.
Lita was terrible in her return, I thought. I thought Trish was better than Lita.
I mean, yeah, Lita, I mean, she mostly relied on her character and her legend status, But I felt like she did okay under the circumstances. But yeah, I think Trish has looked a little bit better. Walter, what are your thoughts? Where do you see this going?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to Lita. We always been joking, but
yeah.
I'm surprised Vince didn't go for his love of alliteration and call this the Steel City Steel Cage or something like that from Pittsburgh. I'm surprised they didn't gimmick this match up.
Oh,
but
they'll probably get some sort of sponsorship and gimmick it up, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's no way I see Trish winning this. I think Zoe tries to interfere, but she inadvertently causes Trish the match somehow. So I think Becky wins. I really don't care for this match too much, and I hope it's not in the main event spot.
All right, well, we'll see what happens with that. We got a tag team match on this show, which is quite the opposite from All In, where it was like a bunch of tag matches and then just a couple of singles matches. This card is almost all singles matches, but we do have one tag team match for the tag team titles. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending their gold against the Judgment Day, Finn Bálor, and Damian Priest. Now, for me personally, I think this is actually the hardest match to call. I'm really torn on this one. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they had a great win, but as champions, they have not done a whole lot. They haven't really defended the titles that much, and I've really gotten tired of this Judgment Day feud with them. They wrestle pretty much every single week in some kind of combination. It's gotten very old, in my opinion. But at the same time, what's going on with Judgment Day? Like, they seem to be moving towards the direction of a split. And Rhea Ripley on Raw said if they don't win the titles, there's going to be some changes in the Judgment Day. Does that mean Judgment Day win the titles, or do they lose and then things really get serious with Judgment Day as far as a split goes and somebody gets kicked out of the group? So, Walter, I'm going to throw it back over to you and get your thoughts on this one.
Man, you talk about cooling down in the 180. At one point, a couple months ago, these titles were the hottest thing going, like right next to Roman Reigns' title. Like at some point, you can even say since he was part-time, these titles were more important. They were the main event of night one of WrestleMania, and now look where they're at. It's just amazing how things change. But yeah, I'm with you in terms of the difficulty. I've been going back and forth with this match because it really is hard to see who wins because of the cool down that Sami and KO done, and that. But at the same time, you want to see where Judgment Day goes, and you kind of want both. You want them to win so that they don't break up, but you kind of want to see what happens if they lose and what happens with Rhea. So, or with the whole group, and you got JD Donna in the background, so you want to know what happens with that. So, I'm gonna go with them retaining. I think they'll retain because something's going to happen. Either JD joins and someone gets kicked out. Damian Priest probably. Maybe he has a babyface Money in the Bank turn, or a run, I should say, and they turn on him, or something happens. JD Dunn is some kind of factor in this match. So I'm going to say KO and Sami Zayn retain.
All right, Caitlin, I will throw it over to you now and get your thoughts on this one. Do you agree with what Walter said?
Basically, I also thought this one was probably the hardest to pick. But I do think that the issues that have been going on with the Judgment Day are going to be the main factor of the match. And I think that whatever goes on between them will result in them losing. So Sami and KO will retain the championship. And then I do, like Walter said, I do think that will be interesting to see where they go with this when they finally start to split them up. Or not start to, I mean, they have started, but when the break happens. And maybe it will be this weekend.
And one thing to consider, too, is that Damian Priest has the Money in the Bank contract, and if he's in a tag team, that could complicate his goal of trying to cash that in. Mike, we'll go over to you now and get your thoughts on this match.
All right, if you put the proverbial gun to my head and say who's going to win, I'll say Zayn and Owens. What I want to see happen is with McDonough interference, Judgment Day takes the belts, and then because they're billed as the most powerful organization. We run Monday night, and yet Damian Priest, who actually should be the star of, the size, the look. You bumped into Damian Priest in the street, you'd be afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy has it all, and he gets beat week in and week out by everybody. And it's like, when are they going to put him over? So I want to see maybe even have Owens turn on Zayn because he's pissed that Sami gets a way better reaction when they come out, with the music hits. Sami is a way bigger pop than Kevin, and maybe have him like when McDonough gets involved, maybe Kevin Owens just kind of like turns his back and Judgment Day wins the titles. Now then you can go a different angle there. I'm picking Judgment Day to win. I don't understand why they keep that faction together if they're just going to lose other than Rhea. Then if Rhea's going to be the only one that wins, turn her face and go that route with it. But fantasy booking, Edge comes back in and starts and releads the Judgment Day. So
Ooh.
That's my fantasy booking, with all the words. Wow, the Sheamus deal was his last match. Edge was a much better fit for Judgment Day than Bálor.
Oh, wow.
Second Judgment.
I would.
Noah, your thoughts on that? And we could see McDonough interfere and either help or cost them the match. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, the whole JD McDonough thing is the wild factor at this point, and I did love Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in 2016, but right now it feels like it's just not fit to do that again, in my personal opinion. This really isn't about the blueberry and cherry straps, all right? Let's be honest here. It's about Judgment Day's future. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are just playing a supporting role in it, after being part of one of the biggest storylines of all time, having the moment at WrestleMania. Tag team wrestling still is very highly underrated, and most times broken up in WWE. Just cost Ace of Spades. So, yeah, I definitely got the champions retaining. So, it really just comes down to, does Damian Priest finally deck Finn Bálor? Because Finn Bálor, you can't get the job done. You can't get gold. I have an opportunity. Dominic has gold. Rhea has gold. You fail at SummerSlam. You didn't execute your plan or my plan. I have the advantage. I have the golden ticket. At this point, we're just waiting for Finn Bálor to be excommunicated from the Judgment Day. I think that's the next telling of this group, if nothing else. In order for that to happen, whether JD is involved or not, maybe he's the one that outs his teacher. Since JD is literally Finn Bálor's student, you got to have the tag chance retained, even if the tag title run's been a bit blasé. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn retain.
All right, thank you for that. And I am also going with the champs to retain, but again, I'm not feeling very confident. I could see it going either way and potentially interference leading to Judgment Day winning the titles, and they hang on to their bond for just a little bit longer. All right, guys.
23.
We now move on to what I think is going to be the main event of the show. We have the Raw World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Freakin Rollins defending against a newly focused Shinsuke Nakamura, who's targeting the bad back of Seth Rollins. I've really enjoyed the video packages with Nakamura over the past few weeks. They've given him a more serious attitude. With that being said, I think he's just going to be a filler opponent for Seth Rollins right now. I think it's going to be a really good match, but I do not see Nakamura winning the title. I would be very surprised. I'm curious to see if anybody else here on the panel has a different opinion of it. Mike, I'll go over to you first on this one. What are your thoughts on this heel turn of Nakamura? Do you see him as a credible challenger for Seth Rollins after basically being in the mid card for like the past several years?
No, and if he wins it, I might have to tap out for this. This is a horrible match, and I have no. If Seth loses this match, I may not watch wrestling for months because there's no way Nakamura beats Rollins in this match. It would be, and like the only thing again, less backstory. Like if he's got the Captain America filming, or he legit has something wrong with his back, or he's got to get away. If that's the case, okay, then Bronson Reed can beat Nakamura because those two have wrestled like 300 times over the last 2 weeks. But there's no way Seth loses this match. No way at all.
Well, here's an interesting idea. Caitlin, I'll throw it over to you now. What do you think about this? Dylan brought up how maybe Seth Rollins retains and Damian Priest cashes in afterwards. Maybe they lose the tag title match and then Priest comes out there and cashes in and wins the world title.
I mean, it's a possibility. I don't think I see that happening. But I am going to obviously go with Seth Rollins to retain, but Yeah, that's a good point. You never quite know with the Money in the Bank.
I guess, Noah, we should do this for the No DQ Predictions League. Maybe we can say, will there be a cash-in of the Money in the Bank contract? We'll just do that every pay-per-view as a bonus point. What do you think, Noah?
I think it's brilliant because at this point, you got to wonder if Damian Priest is going to cash in because, like you all alluded to, by the way, Mike, love your takes. Again, the Money in the Bank winner, how strong is he to actually be considered or respected or believable as a champion if he always freaking loses? Whether it's tag or singles capacity, okay, you got the golden ticket. What's your credibility or your value if you're able to do it after a guy has a back that's less than 5% after defending a damn championship? That being said, I do think Damian Priest is the guy to some point take it off Seth freaking Rollins. Now that we're exposing Seth Rollins' weaknesses, and why I gave Shinsuke Nakamura more of a personal touch in this match. The guy lost WrestleMania 34 for a reason. WWE ain't making him a champion. He's losing. So I definitely got Seth freaking Rollins retaining. It's just a matter now of when Damian Priest takes advantage and how much further can Seth freaking Rollins back take him. Seth retains, though, and I'm going to say Damian Priest still holds off for now. But I do think he cashes in before the year is out.
I will say no on this one.
I gotta break in because Greg called Mike out and said, you won't watch until Raw.
Oh,
because of Rhea.
Maybe that.
You got Rhea still, if nothing else. You know she's retaining her belt.
I guess, you know what's interesting? Here's an interesting dynamic. It wouldn't be the first time that someone lost an earlier match to come back and cash in the Money in the Bank. And you know who was the last one to do it? Seth Rollins. Lost against Randy Orton, cashed in at the main event. So that would be an interesting dynamic.
Now imagine if he turns into a triple threat.
Could. Mike?
I was going to say, if Priest cashes in, it'll be on Mysterio. If Mysterio wins, and then Priest will cash in and take that one.
Mysterio, I mean, I don't think that the Money in the Bank holder should be cashing in on a mid-card title.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, why would a Money in the Bank winner want anything less than the World Championship?
But I don't think the reason I say that, I don't think that's a good call. So yeah, but I don't think they're going to have him cash in on Seth at Payback. I don't think Payback's big enough. So yeah, you're right. He would lose his Money in the Bank. So that was a bad take on my part. I just don't think they're going to switch the title at Payback.
Hey Noah, ask Theory that question.
Right, exactly. So Mike, Money in the Bank cash in, yes or no?
No.
Caitlin, yes or no?
No.
All right, and I'm going no as well. So Walter, it's up to you now. Your thoughts? Are you going to pick Nakamura and then maybe a cash in? What do you think?
I don't think there'll be a cash in. But hey, if it's a B pay-per-view, something to step it up would be a nice cash in, and then you'd be like, see, you shouldn't miss B pay-per-views either. But yeah. Mike said that he wouldn't believe Nakamura beating Seth. However, if you look at Nakamura's career in real life, he's a black belt in multiple. He has multiple MMA style fights. He knows he can legit fight. So I wouldn't put it past him to beat Seth Rollins. But in terms of the story, he's such a jobber.
The audience hasn't seen any of that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not saying he's not tough. I mean, just like, AEW, Orange Cassidy may be the toughest guy in the world. Is wrestling the shits. He's terrible. But he may be. I mean, he may be. He probably would wipe the floor with me in a fight. That's fine. And Nakamura, I'm sure, is tough. But that doesn't mean I have to like his character, and he should go over on Rollins.
It's true. I get it, because this is given very ginger.
He did go over AJ WrestleMania 34. He hasn't really had a main championships. He wasn't really a big deal before freaking WWE and NJPW. So it's like, it's one of those things where if by some divine intervention, Seth freaking Rollins literally falls and can't get up, this match brought to you by Life Alert. Then Damian Priest catches out Nakamura and Damian Priest is the new champion. But that ain't happening.
And I like this heel turn better than the atrocious year of the low blows with the whole AJ and Nakamura before. God. Yeah, but if Nakamura wins and becomes champ, it's gonna give me very Jinder Mahal vibes, like this out of nowhere. It like out of nowhere jobber to like unless they're going to Japan all of a sudden, because that was the excuse for Mahal, right? Because they wanted to venture into India and they never did it. And now they're going. So if they're gonna go to Japan, maybe, but I think Seth Rollins wins, but
can someone give me a lobotomy to maybe forget 2017? Thanks a lot, Walter.
I know. Nakamura, they ruined it. He won the Royal Rumble. They just ruined
now,
his whole
Now
run,
wait,
but
Caitlin, you were at that WrestleMania when Nakamura challenged, lost, and then turned. What was the vibe like there? Did people in the stadium care about that match at all?
Yeah, that match was either the one that everyone lost energy or it was right after that. Because I remember, I know I've talked to you about that before. It was like hype. Everybody was going full speed, and then you just can't go full speed the whole show.
Yeah, they're so long.
Especially WrestleMania is like so long. And yeah, now I can't remember if that was before or after that match where like everybody tanked, but I do know that was the match where two guys alone were standing up. This is just a random story. And everybody else was sitting watching, and they were really pissed at these guys, and everyone started yelling and chanting, and the security had to get them to exit. That's what I remember of that match.
That's the 8-hour WrestleMania, right? Or the 7-hour? Like that's the one that went crazy. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, by main event, it's just like.
How many beach balls were being thrown around during that main event?
Well, that I don't remember.
All right, so everybody got their opinions and predictions in for that?
It was all unanimous.
Yeah.
Seth, Rollins, Zayn, no cash in.
All right, there you go. So I think for the most part, we agreed on almost every match. A few different opinions. Mike, you were the lone man on one of them, but it should be a good show overall. I think it'll be a solid.
I was actually the lone on two, the tag and theory.
Well, there you go. Some bold predictions. We'll see if it plays out for you. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up and do some plugs here before we go. Mike, it was a pleasure to have you on. You got a very nice reception in the chat room. Virtue is a big fan. So thank you for coming on tonight. Hopefully we'll see you again on a future video, maybe no DQ review coming up at some point. You do have some podcasting experience, so go ahead and tell us about your podcast if people want to check out what you're doing.
All right. First of all, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And again, I go watch the wrestling as a fan. I know you guys are fans too, guys and sis are fans as well, but I mean, I kind of just do the fantasy booking in my head and like, I want to see this, and this. So again, thanks for having me on. And yeah, the graphic up there is Flights, Football, and anything else. My buddy who lives around the corner, him and I do a podcast every Thursday night. It comes out on Thursday night / Friday morning. And I talk wrestling in the first segment. And what we do is we unscientifically rate 3 different beers. So by the third tasting, it gets a little sloppy from time to time. There is an explicit warning. So if some vulgarities don't suit you, you might want to listen with caution. But we have a lot of fun with it. And again, we rate 3 different beers, 1 through 5. Last week we did Stone Cold's double IPA. It was absolutely amazing for anybody who enjoys beer. The regular IPA is very good. The double IPA is even better. So, but again, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you on. And you're also on Facebook, and you guys do a Mount Rushmore segment every week, and people can send in their thoughts, right?
Not every week because we run out of topics on that. But yeah, just random Mount Rushmore, like Mount Rushmore comedy movies, Mount Rushmore of this, that, and the other thing. And then, but once we've diluted it, we kind of hold off a little bit because, I mean, Mount Rushmore of colors is kind of boring. So.
All right.
Now you're trying to guess the Crayola 64 color.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. A pleasure, like I said. And Mr. Tito. All right. Mr. Tito has a non-WWE question here. I don't know if he's directing this at Mike or everybody else, but thoughts on CM Punk, Mike? Your thoughts on him right now? Loss for words.
Okay, AEW, I think he's one of the best because I actually like Collision way better than Dynamite. And it's more of an old school wrestling vibe on Dynamite as long as they keep the gymnastics out of it. I think he's
not wrong.
I think he's a tad overrated, but yes or no like him? Yes, I do like him. I think he's a little bit overrated, but he's not on. He wouldn't be my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. And despite everything that's out there about him, he does bring the website a lot of traffic. So I guess in a way, I appreciate his shenanigans because the chaos, controversy creates cash, as Eric Bischoff once said.
And some people just like to watch the world burn.
Exactly.
And I'll say my opinion for the review because I know that's going to have to be a topic.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we'll be talking about that. Caitlin, thank you for coming on short notice, but I was happy to get you on with Mike tonight. Little posterity here. Anything you want to plug?
No, but just say hi to my dad and sister who are watching. Hopefully they're still watching. Love you.
All right. Thank you, Caitlin. Noah, anything you would like to plug or promote?
All right, I'll go ahead and do some stuff because why not? Stay tuned as always. Championship Network with me. I will keep you in tune with more predictions. I do the predicting leagues and of course do live coverage with good old JJ Williams and Jeff Meacham too. We'll do a coverage for both All Out and Payback this weekend. Follow me on the Twitter and on YouTube at Foster1916 to keep up with all the leagues. As I always keep you in tune at all things wrestling. For I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. But I always like to remind you, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans of opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your family, especially after this last week taught us any daggone thing. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. Stay tuned for the forum as well across my social medias. Been a pleasure, Mike. Good to see you, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and now we throw it over to Walter. Walter has his own product. He's a businessman. He's a man of business. Walter, tell us what you got for us.
Thank you again, first of all, for having me on here. It was fun. Good to meet you, Mike. Nice to see you, Caitlin, as always. So yeah, it is a busy time in terms of my business. It is harvest for you that are into that and know what I'm talking about. So you can see at Instagram at Cal Fire Farms right there. And my X is at Walter Alex Cruz, or that site as Noah likes to call it. Go ahead, Noah.
Oh, that site? Oh, yeah, the theater.
I love when he says that. But also stay tuned. The reason I changed my name for Rage of Wrestling, you guys see that, is my own YouTube channel is going to start soon. So I got the first video ready to come out. It's the top 10 overused moves in professional wrestling. You guys know me for a while, so you know what the number one is going to be, but stay tuned for 10 through 9, or 10 through 2, I should say. So other than that, thanks as always, Aaron, for having me up here, and it was fun.
I appreciate you guys, everybody, for being on tonight. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest wrestling news and rumors. A busy week. It's been a busy week already with all the CM Punk news. Right. And I'm sure there's more to come. We got Dynamite in Chicago. We got Collision in Chicago. We got All Out in Chicago. And CM Punk might not be at any of those shows because of the circumstances. So going to be an interesting weekend for sure. NoDQ.com will have the latest. Predictions for All Out will be Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned for that. See you guys next time. And remember, say yes to NoDQ.com. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Aaron, you got a super chat.
Oh, whoa.
Bye.
Mr. Tito sent in $2. He said, favorite Seth Rollins match. How about the match that he had when he won the world title, when he cashed in on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? I was there for that. That's my all-time favorite.
Bias.
And John Cena, SummerSlam was a great match. He's had a lot of great matches. It's hard to pick just one.
I liked his match with AJ Styles at Money in the Bank that one year. I thought that was a phenomenal match, pun intended.
Walter, you got anything you could think of off the top of your head?
It's got to be the WrestleMania. The fact that he did that and the only one to cash it in there. It was like, but at that same WrestleMania, I love the match against Randy Orton. I mean, that was one of the best RKOs you ever seen. He took it well, and the fact that he reversed the stomp. So I think WrestleMania in general, those matches were awesome.
Shield triple threat. Oh, the Royal Rumble 2015 with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. That was one of the better triple threat matches in recent memory. Mike, you got any off the top of your head?
I'm gonna cop out here. I think the most impressive thing about Seth Rollins is his entrance, and he gets in the ring and he can have people just do that song for 3 to 5 minutes. That has got to be the biggest rush ever, to have that kind of control over 20,000 people or more, depending on the venue you're at. So I think that is a highlight reel match every single time he takes the ring, because I just think that is absolutely wonderful and amazing that one guy can have that much control over that many people.
That's Rock's level. The way he could use to control people.
Exactly.
More brave.
Doesn't even need to wrestle. He can just entertain the people. Caitlin, you got anything before we go?
No, I don't. Like, I always think it's hard when people are like, what's your favorite match of all time by this person? Like, except for a few all-time greats, like maybe Undertaker I could do that for. But for other people, I'm like, who did they wrestle at? You know, WrestleMania 2015 or whatever. I don't know how people remember all that stuff.
Mr. Tito sent in what might be the first duplicate super chat. Thoughts on CM Punk? I like the guy.
Rewind, Mr. Tito.
I think he meant the rest of the panel because Mike answered, but like I said, I'm saving it for the review.
Or maybe he's paying $2 just to get another person's opinion.
I can actually answer on that one because I had a period of time where I was obsessed with CM Punk, and he was my favorite.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it was a while. I think that was like around the DVD case. It was a SummerSlam. The DVD case was yellow with stars. Here's for your trivia people. Anybody know what SummerSlam that was? Anyway, that era, I was super obsessed with him.
That's the red and yellow, I think, era. I know what you're talking about. That was earlier, mid-2010s?
I was going to say, like 11, 12, 10 maybe. Yeah,
it was prior. It was around that time with the whole Chicago Money in the Bank, John Cena fiasco with Blue a Kiss and what that was the title. So, a fair point, Caitlin. Plus, CM Punk, he's always been one of those to, go against the establishment, get your attention, whether it's good or bad.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up on that note. Thank you, Mr. Tito, for that. Much appreciated. Say yes to NoDQ.com. We will see you all next time.
Have a good night, folks.
See ya.